Okay guys, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Wednesday DMR. And I know that some of these things are still relatively new because we just started them a few days ago. So if you need to look at the key that I have posted there to help you, or if you'd like to follow along with this video, that might be a good way to help you do this DMR. You can also just fast forward the video to the places where you have specific questions. So remember, when we're looking at turning a fraction into a decimal, you always remember that this line actually means divided by. So you've got 2 as your numerator, 10 as your denominator, so 2 divided by 10. And you remember that 2 is smaller than 10, so you have to do something. You've got more work to do. So if you put your decimal here, and then you can move it right up, add a 0. How many times does 10 go into 20? 10 goes into 20 2 times. 10 times 2 is 20. 20 minus 20 is 0. So you're technically done. And remember, we did talk about how sometimes taking the number to the nearest hundredth makes it easier, and this is the 10th spot. So if you add a 0 here, it might make it easier for you to understand when you go to do the percentage. So your decimal is 0.2. You can make that 0.2, you can make that 0.2, you can make that 0.20. We've had a lot of conversations about how these zeros, because they don't have any value, it doesn't necessarily matter if you include them or not. But I would probably write 0.20 as my answer. And remember, when I'm looking at a percentage, that's out of 100. And if I multiply 0.20 times 100, I'm really just moving the decimal points over those 2 spaces. So it's 20%. All right. 6/9 plus 1/7. We're all experts at this after our work last quarter, but a good common denominator here is 63. 9 times 7 is 63. 6 times 7 is 42. 7 times 9 is 63. 1 times 9 is 9. 42 plus 9 is 51 over 63. And I know that 51 is prime, so nothing else other than 51 goes into 51. So I'm done. The next thing I'm going to do is division. This is a problem where everybody knows how to do it, but sometimes I think some of us were rushing, or just because there's so many steps we make mistakes. So you just always want to make sure that you're doing your division nice and slowly. So you've got 92,214 divided by 16. 16 goes into 92 5 times. 5 times 16 is 80. Bring down my 2. Now I'm doing 16 goes into 122 7 times. 16 times 7 is 112. Got 10 left over. Bring down my 1. 16 goes into 101 6 times. And 16 times 6 is 96. Bring down my 4. And 16 goes into 54 3 times, and 3 times 16 is 48. And I've got a remainder 6, but I want to write my remainder as a fraction. So 5,763 and 6 over 16. But wait, there's more. These are both even, so I can divide them by 2. And technically, my answer is 5,763 and 3 over 8. And I know that's an awful lot of work, but it's not difficult. There are just a lot of steps. So take your time, and I bet you'll get it right. Moving on to the algebra box, y plus 264 equals 813. 813 minus 264 is 549. The next problem, 1032 plus 8y equals x when y equals 3 2/10. So it's good to put my bigger number on top when I multiply, although it doesn't matter, it just makes it easier. 2 times 8, 16, 25, and I put my decimal here because that's how many spaces I have. The part that some of us still get confused is that when we subtract and add decimals, we have to line them up. So I need to write 1032.0 so that I can line up my 25.6. This is where some of us make mistakes. Now I need to regroup here. I'm sorry, you know how it is here at school. Even when you're not here, it's full of distractions, and people were coming in and out of my room. And 2 minus 2 is not 5, it's 0. I don't know. 1006 and 4/10. So to be clear, the answer is 1006.4. Okay? So that's where we are with the algebra box. Sorry about that confusion there. Although to you it was only a split second, to me it was like 5 minutes. We've been talking about the diameter, and that's all the way across. So when you do the diameter, all you have to do is take a look at the circle because it's already done for you. And you know the radius is half of that. So when you have the diameter, it's from one side of the circle through the center to the other side of the circle. That's the diameter. And the radius is halfway, so from the side of the circle to the center point. Half of 12 inches is 6 inches. And that's pretty easy once you start to remember what it is. In the measurement box, we've been looking at parallelograms. That's what these are, parallelograms. They have two parallel sides, two pairs of parallel sides. So you do base times height, as usual, and you remember that the height is the 90-degree angle. Okay, so that's this one. So 31 times 18. 31 times 18 is 558, and it's inches squared. Then when I want to go all the way around, this 31 goes with this number. So that's not an outside line. That's actually imaginary. So it's just there to tell you how tall it is. So we're actually looking at 33 plus 33 plus 18 plus 18. And you all have really good strategies for how you like to do the perimeter. So I won't interfere with how you do it. But if you don't have a strategy, you can just add them up like this. And when you add them, you get 102 inches. For the median, when you add these numbers, you get 195. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So 195 divided by 5. 5 goes into 19 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15. 9 minus 5 is 4. Bring down my 5. 5 goes into 45 9 times. So my mean is 39. My strategy for finding the median is rewriting them in order from least to greatest. So I know the number in the middle is 39 also. So it seems weird, but both of those answers happen to be 39. If you have any questions about the DMR, you can hang on to your questions, and you can always ask them in tomorrow's math meeting because we'll be going over the Thursday DMR together.